Thomas in trouble again. And now Tyson moves in for the kill. 2 uppercuts in the left hand. Thomas trying to hold on. Serious trouble. And down he goes.
Early in the third. And he looks to his corner. His eye is gone. And
the drama surrounding Frank Bruno and Mike Tyson reads like a tale written for the silver screen, a collision of destiny and raw power that captured the imagination of boxing fans worldwide. Frank Bruno, a giant of a man standing 6 feet 3 and weighing to 138 pounds of pure muscle, was more than just a fighter. He was a symbol, a living, breathing representation of Britain's pride and hope. With a chest like a wall, arms resembling tree trunks, and a charisma that drew crowds into a fevered frenzy, Bruno became the heartthrob of an entire nation. He carried the dreams of 70,000 screaming fans every time he stepped into the ring, each roar echoing like a war cry across arenas. But more than size, more than strength, Bruno carried a single-minded obsession to dethrone the reigning heavyweight champion. The seemingly unstoppable force, known as Iron Mike Tyson, Bruno's journey toward this moment was a study in dedication, resilience, and obsession. By the late 1980s, he had become Britain's most beloved fighter, undefeated in the past 10 fights, a man whose sheer presence commanded attention. He trained like a man possessed, running through the London fog at dawn, sparring with an intensity that made even his own team flinch. His trainer, George Francis, would later recall that he had never seen Bruno so consumed by purpose. Every fiber of his being was dedicated to one goal, to finally challenge Tyson and prove that the man from England could stand toe-to-toe with the baddest fighter alive. The pre-fight press conferences were electric. Bruno walked in like a king claiming his throne, eyes cold and focused, delivering declarations that sent the British press into a frenzy. Headlines screamed that the giant had awakened, that Tyson's reign might finally meet its end. But the anticipation was a double-edged sword. While belief can be intoxicating, it cannot shield a man from a force like Tyson. In Las Vegas, on February 25, 1989, the stage was set. The Hilton Center was alive with energy, every seat filled, every fan on edge, sensing the magnitude of what was about to unfold. Bruno entered first, a towering figure, his enormous shoulders rolling, his eyes burning with intensity. Then came Tyson, silent, black shorts and shoes, eyes empty yet terrifying, piercing through Bruno as though he didn't exist. From the opening bell, the fight revealed the precarious balance between courage and danger. Bruno did what few expected. He hurt Tyson. The crowd erupted as Bruno landed a straight right, snapping Tyson's head back. For a brief, electrifying moment, history seemed poised to pivot. But Tyson was not a man to be slowed by a single blow. The young champion smiled, shifted, and unleashed combinations that seemed almost inhuman. Every punch from Bruno was met with calculated retaliation. And the crowd watched in stunned silence as a master of destruction methodically dismantled his challenger. Bruno's size, his muscle, his heart, none of it mattered against Tyson's relentless efficiency. The first round was a test of survival, the second an exercise in endurance, the third a brutal reminder that courage is never a substitute for raw power and precision. Bruno's body began to falter under the repeated onslaught, legs wobbling, arms dropping, eyes glassy. By round 4, it was clear that Iron Mike was in control. Every defensive maneuver, every valiant attack Bruno launched was countered with terrifying accuracy. And then, in round 5, the inevitable happened. Tyson cornered Bruno, delivering a flurry of left hooks so fast the camera nearly missed them. The referee had no choice but to stop the fight. Bruno, the man who had trained so diligently, who had inspired an entire nation, was defeated. The dream was over. The canvas beneath him, a stark reminder of the unyielding reality of facing a force like Tyson at his peak. But Bruno's story did not end there. For 7 long years, he chased the dream of redemption, of finally claiming the rematch that eluded him. He rebuilt, won fights, and in 1994, he ascended to the pinnacle of boxing, claiming the WBC heavyweight title. Now a champion, Bruno stood not as a challenger, but as a king defending his throne. The rematch came on March 16, 1996, at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. At 34, still massive, still powerful, Bruno faced a Tyson who had spent years in prison. A man whose aura of invincibility had been questioned, but never entirely diminished. From the opening moments, the fight was tense, a clash of raw power, experience, and psychological warfare. Bruno attacked early, using his size and strength to push Tyson, landing shots that momentarily stunned the world. Yet Tyson adapted, finding his rhythm, his combinations as precise and lethal as ever. Bruno's size and experience could not shield him from the disciplined brutality that Tyson unleashed with cold efficiency. By round 3, the pattern repeated. Tyson cornered Bruno, delivered combinations that broke down both body and spirit, and the referee intervened once more, ending the fight. Through both encounters, Frank Bruno emerged not as a mere victim, but as a figure of profound courage and determination. He was not a joke, not a tomato can. He was a man who fought with everything he had, who faced one of the most formidable forces in boxing history twice and gave it his all. Tyson, at his prime, was not just a boxer. He was a storm incarnate, turning courage into vulnerability, exacting a precise toll on every second of hesitation. Bruno's legacy, therefore, is not defined by the defeats but by his unyielding spirit, the hope he inspired, and the way he carried the weight of an entire nation on his shoulders while standing in the ring with a man who was nearly unstoppable. Bruno's story is a testament to what it means to confront the impossible, to step into the arena knowing the odds are stacked against you, yet refusing to yield. It is a lesson in courage, preparation, and the stark, unforgiving realities of sport at its highest level. He reminded the world that even in defeat, there is dignity and honor in giving your all. In standing tall when facing a living legend like Mike Tyson, the narrative of Frank Bruno versus Iron Mike Tyson is not simply about who won or lost. It is a chronicle of human ambition, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of dreams against overwhelming odds. It is about a man who dared to challenge the greatest, who hurt him even if fleetingly, and who carried the spirit of a nation into the very jaws of danger. If you're fascinated by the moments when courage meets the unconquerable, when human will is tested against the pure force of nature, make sure to join us for more explorations into boxing history's most epic clashes. Comment below and tell us which legendary fight you'd like to see broken down next, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the raw power and drama that boxing has to offer.